Opening up another camera here. This one's a JVC GC-FM1. It says it's HD. So not a lot of justification for this one. We just do use a lot of cameras, and this one was marked $99 down to $79. So I went on with my Droid, used the shopping application, and found out that the cheapest ones online were going for $89 or $99, and that it had decent reviews. So we've been using the camera we're using right now to film on is a JVC, and this one looks like it might be a good option for us. We're working on replacing our old flips, which is what we sort of transitioned into from using standard digital cameras. And flips are great. These aren't high def flips. These are the first models, and while they're decent quality, they're not great quality, and we're looking for great quality, so we're transitioning. The last ones we got were these, or was this Kodak, and this is the ZI-6. So they've already come out with a nicer one of these, but this one's actually pretty decent. It has an issue with sound, but otherwise it's a decent one. And not sure, size-wise, this one's just a bit bigger, so I'm curious to see where this one will fit with these. We'll find out in a second here. But anyway, that's why we got this one. It was $79. It's HD, and it's JVC, so it was worth a gamble. We'll see if we can't replace another flip with it. Now, one thing, there's no sticker or anything. Oh, okay, I guess there is. I spoke too soon. So I wasn't sure there was anything to tamper resistant type of thing. And today's opening blade will be a rusty razor blade. Kind of interesting packaging. It's like heavy, it's light cardboard. Well, it's pretty small. So we've got something about Alto. Couple of instructions folded up, like the AV, USB, wrist strap, pretty common set of straps. Box is a little weird, but it's just heavy cardboard. We can unfold that and throw it away pretty easy. The rest of it's just filler, so that's not too bad as far as packaging. And I get the camera out of there. I'm actually very impressed now. Now, this is one I didn't research or anything. It was sort of an impulse when I saw it for $79 there. And so far, I'm going to like it, I think. Get that blade back. If the picture quality is good, I like it. Kind of a goofy looking front there. It's like all weird. It just looks kind of jeweled or something, but it's actually flat. So, luckily, I don't have to look at the front. Kind of blinged out here, but maybe I can give it a coat of black flat paint or something. So anyway, it'll look good when we're at the disco. Aside from that, though, we've got HDMI output, the USB output, the AVI output. So that's basically fancy television, regular television, and USB. Then we've got macro and regular. That's similar to the Kodak. I don't know where the power button is yet. Guess the power button's on the back here. So this must be the this is the SD card. So SD card compartment, not too bad. Pretty substantial little piece of plastic there for the clip. Looks like it saved some time by not having the flip USB dongle or the Kodak's USB dongle. To me, that's not a big deal. It's okay having those on here, but I have to use it here. Since I don't have to use it here, I never use it. So I don't mind that being missing. Otherwise, we're done with attachments. There is a point for the tripod, and it looks like this lanyard strap attachment point is a piece of metal, but it's just drilled through the pieces of plastic. But it looks like it's okay, and it looks like it won't be too bad. I could probably run a 550 cord through there. So it seems pretty durable, but screen isn't super huge. Let's see, it's bigger than the flip for sure, but it's not as big as this Kodak. There's the power button, but it's not charged up at all. So since there was no batteries, I guess we'll just have to charge it. I don't see a power cord, so it must charge off a USB, so we'll have to go plug it into a computer. So I guess we'll do that, and then we'll get back to it. So far though, it looks like a nice size, kind of cheap feeling. While it's super solid, no moving parts or anything, the flip feels more like something that's designed to be carried around, more like an appliance. And the ZI6 has sort of a rubber coating, but I could note on an update here that it's sort of flaking off. Even once it flakes off though, it feels pretty nice, pretty decent in your hand. Kodak knows how to make a good camera, I think, but it's so lightweight that it just doesn't feel substantial. This feels a little more dense, so even though it feels a little more cheap plastic wise, since it's just well, it's probably as heavy as, it's actually maybe a little heavier than the Kodak, it feels more like a cell phone or something. It's a little more substantial. Anyway, that's enough on the looks and feel. We'll charge up the battery and then get an idea of what kind of video we're going to get out of it. It's definitely smaller than any of these others, and unlike the flip, which is centered, and this is off to the one side, this is off to the other side, so I don't know if that's going to make a big difference, but the lens is off to your right side here, so over here, and on this one it'll be off to the left, which for me isn't going to make a big difference because every camera we use is a little bit different. It doesn't really seem to make a difference. Okay, I've charged it up a little bit, but I thought it was done. It wasn't done. But it did, just out of nowhere, because it's plugged in through the USB port to the USB on the computer, that's the only way to charge it. It just turned the computer on and installed some stuff. I thought it was done charging because of that, but it wasn't. So I turned it off just so we could go through the steps again. You have to kind of hold that power button down for a bit before it goes on, then you see the green light. We've got a battery that has been dropping down to like 3/4 on me. So anyway, we got the setup here. Pretty easy button thing. Let's go to 2010. Month is 6. Kind of hard to read. It's very crisp and clear. It's just not real easy to read. It's so small. And it's about 4 o'clock. So otherwise pretty easy to use. I don't know how to hit enter now. Enter? Okay. So I just hit the button again. So now we've got the camera looking at stuff. So I guess we'll try it out. Now the battery indicator has gone down 1 notch. You can see it's pretty shiny. You can see this camera in this. I don't know what this button is. I guess nothing. I'm going to go ahead and let it charge up the rest of the way. Okay, we gave it some time to charge up, and now we're going to see how it works. This is the JVC GC-FM1. And we're going to put this 2 GB memory card in here. Installs pretty easily. And we'll turn that on. We've got it set to 1080, so high def. It looks like we have 18 minutes of high def here on a 2 GB card. So let's throw some things out here that we might want it to look at. We're going to try to go out as wide angle as it will. That would be telephoto, so we'll go out to wide angle. Just a couple of random things here. Alright, and then I will hit the record button. Quickly goes to record. Definitely records quickly. And I'll go down. There is a macro switch on the side here. So I'll flip that macro switch and a pretty obvious flower comes up. So now we're looking at the batteries, the pen, and the camera. And then I'll flip off of the macro. We'll try that zoom. So we're zooming in on the batteries and then zooming out. Seems very reactive, very quiet. I have a fan running in this room, so we'll compare this sound quality with this sound quality and see if either one of these cameras is picking up the fan. Actually, this camera, the JVC that we're recording the main video with, has a foam cover over the microphone. The new JVC, we don't know where the microphone is yet. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop recording. It went to processing very quickly. Very reactive button. I barely touched it and it went right ahead to record. I can hit play here and it'll go to a playback screen. I hit the center button. And with the wide enough screen here, it's actually a pretty worthwhile to preview the video this way. I'll hit stop. I suspect if I hit delete, it would ask me if I want to delete this file. I'll leave it on no because I want to keep the file. We can flip it to camera mode. Switches to a camera up here. Back to video mode, and I'm pushing this button. Actually, now that its battery's charged up, I'd say that these buttons are actually fairly easy to use. So I've got it on camera mode, and I'm clicking this to, I'll push the preview mode again, and now it looks like I'm just at camera. So I guess I have 700 pictures to take. Yep, 718. So that's a photograph of the stuff I have on the table here. I'll take a photograph of this camera. So I just took a photograph of the JVC there. Alright, so what else we got? We'll put it back to video mode, and now it's a video camera again. Okay, so we've got a couple of different modes here: 1080p, 720p, VGA, and QVGA. So that's the JVC. We'll see how it looks, how the video quality comes out, but so far I'm going to suggest it's a nice form factor. Seems to be pretty slick. I think once I attach a lanyard to it, I might like this one as a camera. Depending on how the stills come out, it might be a great way to replace a still camera and something like a flip.